So why are there no tone controls in PS Audio's products? We like our tone just real natural, like, yep. This is from Tom in Cape Cod. And he says, I know that PS Audio is opposed to these controls for audio purity. And that's fine, but as human beings age, their hearing changes. Typically, the high end starts to fall off. That is true. And as you reduce volume, our ears become less sensitive to the lows. The problem is our hearing changes and has its flaws, but your equipment does not. I understand your point of view, but I feel that you need to understand ours as well. And I, for example, am 74 years old, and the highs have certainly dropped off for me. If there were tone controls, I would be able to compensate for some of this. So why have you chosen this path that you're on, and could this be changed? For what it's worth, or for your information, Shit Audio, SCHITT, and we're watching Schitt's Creek these days. I love that program. Good job. Brilliant. Anyway, Shit Audio makes their add-on Loki product, but it uses RCA connectors, and therefore you lose the quality of the XLR balance cables. What do we do? Well, that was a long question, and it's a good one. We get asked that a lot. So I will say there's several things to discuss. Okay. He is 74 years old. I'm 72. So we're kind of close in age. My high frequency hearing has dropped off. I'm probably down to 10K, 11K, still pretty good. And yet my acuity, my ability to discern changes has completely stayed the same. And we've talked about this before. Our mental ear-brain mechanism makes up for whatever loss that we have, so that a violin still sounds like a violin, a trumpet still sounds like a trumpet, I still sound like Paul, right? And to this gentleman who's 74 years old, same thing. No, you don't hear the same, but you adjust to it over time. So tone controls, though, but let's be more specific, because yeah, I'm a purist, and at PS Audio we too are purists, and we just have always kind of avoided those tone controls. That's what I mean. So yeah, I think, Tom, it's probably about time that we think about doing something like that. And I will tell you, I have no interest in adding it to our preamplifiers or adding it to our products. I would consider it as a separate product, and I think that might be valid. Do you remember the old cellos? Mark Levinson, the man, hired a guy named, I think it was Tom Cogliagino? I don't know. Anyway, I probably can't say his last name, but a good engineer. And Tom, I think it was Tom, could have been Dick Berwin. One of those two designed a really cool product called the Audio Palette. And that was a really high-end equalizer. It was super expensive, and I don't think we would be interested in that. But an add-on with XLR in, RCA, sure, I think that might be something worth looking into, but that's why we don't do it. And the other reason I wouldn't put it onto a preamp or an integrated or all that, because those kinds of controls are not cheap to do them right, and we wouldn't do it unless we did it right. So they're kind of expensive to put on there, and I don't want to burden everybody with the expense of doing that when only 10%, 5% of the people are going to use them. And lastly, I don't like PS Audio supporting something that I don't use and wouldn't use. So that's where it's hard, but I understand. There are plenty of people like yourself who would, and I wouldn't want to deny that. So yes, we will consider it. Okay, thanks. I'll talk to you later. Bye.